3 testify divine. 1 John chapter 5 verse 7, no lie. Can you see the GodHead's design? Revelation 21 verse 7, divine sign. Jesus, God in heaven reigning supreme. No weapon from condemn the blessed dream. God's alive, reverence, face no tokens. Perfect love, holy one, never broken. 3 in 1, GodHead's group began. GodHead, the victory is won. Let him know, brother. Let him know. Yeah. Come on. Let him know, brother. Let him know.
You okay? All right. My name's GodHead.
Okay. You already sound very white.
I sound very white.
Yeah, you do.
Because I'm British. I'm a black British man.
Okay.
What about you? You born
I'm
here?
an Arab British man.
Okay, so you born here?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I was on the phone, I would say the same.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So, do you believe there's contradictions in the Quran?
Okay. So we're doing question for question.
Yeah. Because
Right. That's your question, yeah?
that's my question.
All right. I don't believe there's any contradictions. So.
Can I show you one?
Yes. Can I ask my question now? You can show me after. How do you want to do this? How do you want to do this?
Yeah. Let's.
Because I've got questions as well. Because I'm not here just to answer.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So I didn't get your name. Sorry.
I'm not,
You don't want to give your name. No problem. That's fine.
You call me Joe.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Okay. So then the question is how long did it take to destroy the people of Ad?
That's the second question.
That's the main question.
Right, but you haven't answered my question. No.
Yeah, I'll take yours.
Right.
But that's the first question from me.
Your first question was, do you believe any contradictions in the Quran? I said no.
No, that was just to understand whether you believe the Quran is a divine authority.
So I'm going to give you 2 questions then. All right.
Yeah, I don't mind. But yeah, so like I said, how long did it take, according to your own Quran, for the destruction of the people of Ad? Do you know? Okay, so you don't know your Quran then?
I don't know everything, no.
So are you Muslim? You're Muslim?
Yeah, I don't pretend to know everything.
You're Sunni Muslim?
Yeah.
So my understanding about being a Sunni Muslim is that you would actually study. So you don't study your Quran?
There's lots of things in the Quran. Quran is a massive book. I know.
No, it's not.
I know like about.
It's not even bigger.
quarter.
It's not even bigger than the Torah.
Right.
And there's only 5 books in the Torah. It's tiny, actually.
Sure.
There's
I
no.
know about
There's no.
It's memorized. Have you memorized any of the Bible?
I've memorized the Bible. I've memorized a lot about the Bible. Okay, good.
For sure.
Okay.
So I could read you
so
like about 30 pages right now.
So Joe,
If you want me to.
Joe
You
or
can fact check it.
Joe or whatever your name is, Joe. Are you able to tell me how long it took for the people of Ad to be destroyed? You don't know. Okay, so isn't that interesting? So we have a Muslim that wants to insult, mock Jesus.
I haven't sorted. Jesus is my prophet.
No, the Jesus you have is not the Jesus of the Bible.
Can I ask my questions now?
No, but you're saying something. You made a false claim. How do you?
You're controlling the conversation. If you control it too much, I will leave.
Okay, how
Because you have to give me equal control.
No, what I'm trying to
If you're
understand.
going to control too much.
It's no problem. No. What I'm trying to understand. What I'm trying to understand is what evidence do you have outside of the Quran? What evidence do you have from a non-Islamic writer? Do you have to substantiate your claims about the claims made in the Quran?
Okay. I can ask the same question from a Jewish perspective, because Jesus came to the
Yeah,
Jews.
we love the Jews. We love the Jewish people.
Yeah, of
Absolutely.
course, Jews are
We
first.
love.
You worship.
We love the Jewish people.
You have to eat a Jew. You have to eat him.
How do we
have to
eat?
drink
How
his
do we
blood.
eat a Jew?
It's a human being.
Yeah, Jesus. Jesus. He says,
What's he talking
eat
about?
my flesh, drink my blood. That's what he says. So you don't know your own Bible.
So what? We actually eat his flesh.
That's what he says. Eat my
He
flesh.
said it's a word. You say no one hates Jesus, even your Quran.
So you don't know your own religion.
No, but your Quran. What is your Quran say about Jesus? Did he say anybody ate Jesus? Did Allah say anybody say he ate Jesus in your Quran?
We don't eat Jesus.
Right. Does
I don't know, bro. You're not making any sense. I'll have to be
You
honest.
prop
So
that Jesus
okay.
not.
So
you're saying what
so what's
do I
hap-
have that substantiates what?
so
From
what-
outside, this is your question.
Yeah, so listen.
Yeah. Let me clarify. So you're saying from an outside perspective of Islam, what do we have that substantiates our religion?
Exactly. What outside?
And outside of Christianity, what do you have that substantiates Christianity from? Because the Jesus came for the Jews. He said, "Pray for the lost sheep of Israel." He didn't come for the Gentiles, right? So you're done.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong because even when John the Baptist saw Jesus, and remember, our faith came 600 years before yours.
And you know the
Right?
disciples are Jewish.
So
They're all Jewish, right?
remember, we're your
Matthew,
parents.
Luke,
We're your
They're
parents.
all Jewish.
So what we know,
So you-
what
yeah,
we
you
know
follow-
is that
you
John
follow
the
Jewish-
Baptist, the cousin of Jesus, he said, "Behold, the Lamb of God
So
that
why
takes
are you guys
away
even speaking
the sins of the
in the
world."
name of Jesus, you're not Jewish.
Because he said so.
He came for the Jews.
He's the Messiah, the promised
He's the
Messiah,
Messiah.
Yes, he's the Messiah.
for the
I believe he's the
world,
Messiah.
for the
I
salvation of
believe
the
he's
world.
Messiah. He's coming down. He's coming down in Damascus.
Okay, on what
to
basis?
slay the swine and break the cross.
Okay, give
Because
any.
the cross is evil.
This is the thing. Joe the Muslim.
We're not going to have question for question, clearly.
Okay,
So let's
don't
throw
worry.
that
Don't worry. You have your
Let's
chance.
just have a heated debate.
No,
Heated.
I want to understand.
Can
I
you
want
keep up with the heated debate?
I want to understand. I want to understand what evidence you have outside of the Quran that substantiates the claims about Isa in the Quran.
All right. What outside for the Jews? When they see Mary has come home with a child without a father, what do they think? What did they think?
Are you-
It's a bastard.
Are you
They're in the Talmud,
are you
Jesus
answering
burned
the answering the question?
with a question.
See, you don't you're not a Muslim.
Are you, am I,
You don't have the knowledge.
so listen, you know that you can answer a question with a question.
That's not an answer.
That is an answer.
Show your depth.
All right. Someone
Show
told
what
me-
knowledge you have.
Someone told me,
What knowledge do you
this is-
have?
This is what Bob the Builder said.
If you ask a question,
Hang on, what's your name?
if you ask a question, you're trying to inquire. So I'm asking
No, I'm not
you.
trying to find out.
I'm
So you
asking
brought me into it,
you. I'm asking you because I heard what you said about the Jewish people.
Yeah, because she's
So
going around
so
doing whitewash
you
to
magnetized
worship a white-
me
white Jew.
when you were insulting the Jewish people. So
What colour was Jesus?
what I'm trying to understand,
colour was
what I'm
he?
trying to understand.
No, we're not. We're not. I said question for question. He didn't want to.
Okay, so I'm
We're not
happy.
gonna be able to.
I'm happy to pause.
It's not a heated
I'm
one.
happy to
It's not a
pause.
jump in.
I'm happy to pause.
You're allowed to-
Ask your question. Ask your question.
Just have a heated debate, bro.
Ask your question. Ask your question.
I was originally going to ask about she was talking about the blood of Jesus, the blood of a white man, blood of a Jew. That's what I don't know what she was saying about that. That's all I'm saying. I said over her the blood of a Jew, the blood of a white man. She's promoting she's
Well, you say white,
Jewish
though.
supremacy.
But wasn't
She is.
okay. So firstly,
That's all.
firstly, yes, we believe that Jesus was Jewish,
Yeah.
but we don't believe he was white, pale white.
Doesn't matter about
The Jewish people of those days, they would have been olive skin. That's historical fact. So when you say white, like you're kind of giving connotations to, in my opinion, what I describe as racist comments when you say white, because firstly, you're not
Well, they
even
have
you're not
pictures
being
of it.
careful with how
Yeah,
you're speaking.
They put images of him and said like he's white because they promote a white
Yeah,
supremacy.
but what are you saying? You haven't inquired, you haven't
Well, the
explored this.
popular image that I see of Jesus is
Yeah,
white.
but he's Jewish. He's Jewish in the 1st century. Okay, so this is clearly somebody.
So why don't you just leave this religion?
This
that
is
whitewashing?
this is clearly somebody that was olive skin. But what's your next question?
Why don't you leave this religion that's whitewashing?
In what way?
Why don't you just leave the white man's religion?
So you're saying white man.
Yeah, the white man.
So are you said you're Muslim? He's Muslim.
Yeah.
So did Muhammad call black people raisin head? You don't know your hadith. You don't know your hadith.
You don't know your hadith.
You don't know your Quran. You don't know your
You're trying to
hadith.
twist it. That's why I'm saying no.
You actually no. Do you know?
I'm saying no to the way you twisted it.
No,
That's
but no. But what I'm trying to say to
all. the way
you,
you twisted
what
it.
I'm
you're
trying,
making it
what I'm
sound
trying
a
to
certain
say
way.
to you is that he's a racist man, Muhammad.
It's not.
You know, he traded. Did he
You know what he
trade?
said?
Did he trade black people?
Okay, can I say something?
Did he trade black people?
You know what he said about?
Did he
the
trade black people for slavery?
The supremacy. He said it's not. He literally addressed supremacy of race. He said there's no supremacy of race. It's all in piety. All in
What?
piety. Yeah,
So why did he trade black people as slaves?
because back then the Arabs. This is where they were. This is their practice. And the Qur'an came. ما أدراك ما الرقبة فك رقبة. What is the right way? This is the ayah that came down later. Remember, he was an Arab person, right? He was part of the Arab community. Originally, he was not even like the Arabs were not even monotheists. They weren't. They worshipped many gods, didn't they? You're aware of that. The Arabs,
Pre-Islamic.
Arabs
Yeah, I
were
understand.
not-
I know.
not monotheists. So they had very bad character. They had very bad like characters. And God even said, we've blessed you with Islam and like made you good of good conduct and monotheists. So originally the Arabs weren't good. If they had black slaves, just like the Christians had black slaves as well, did they not?
No.
The Christians did. Do you know what verse they use?
You don't know what
You know
slaves.
you know
Okay,
what verse
okay,
they
okay,
use?
okay.
They said the
So
curse command,
Joe,
They said, "A servant-
so
servants you will be. to your brethren." They use that verse.
you're talking
extrapolated
about bond
it,
servants. If
and
you're
took
talking about
black
if you're
slaves,
talking about the slaves in the Old Testament,
which I don't support, and the Quran doesn't
what he
support.
forgets is that
Yeah.
God divided the Red Sea to get the Jewish people out of the kind of slavery.
Okay.
Excuse me one second. He divided the Red Sea to free slaves. Muhammad, there's a hadith where a man would free the slaves when he died. There was a particular man that was going to free his slaves before he died. Muhammad blocked it. He blocked it and he distributed the slaves to somebody else.
Okay.
So Muhammad wasn't this freedom liberator at all, at all. He was somebody that blatantly traded slaves.
I'm gonna let you finish, but finish faster.
He believed
I
in,
want to answer.
he believed in slavery. When we see slavery in the Bible, this wasn't that kind of slavery.
Right.
This the Egyptian type slavery. That is Islam, the Egyptian type slavery. They have the Arab slave trade, which is still going on today. The slavery, the slavery in the Bible is bond service. This is people who they were like butlers, like hired help.
Oh, and what you said the
So
the thing that's going
hired
on
help.
today is bond service as well in Dubai.
What are you
It's
talking
bond
about?
service. They're saying it's mates. Because you're saying it's going on today.
I'm talking about the Bible.
There's
I'm
no
trying.
faith other than maid services.
Guy,
All right. So you said
what I'm trying to say to
you
you,
said ignorantly,
can I just
because
finish
you're
what I'm
not
saying?
aware of,
I'm not talking about
you're not aware of-
Dubai. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
you know
the
what
Bible. I'm
tequila
saying
is?
that
What is a
the
tequila in
bond
Arabic?
service in the Bible
You know what happens?
is hired help,
turn to speak.
butlers,
It's my turn to speak.
butlers,
It's my turn to speak.
butlers,
All right.
who either wanted to be hired or committed their life to that family.
And same
And
is
God
happening
put
today with-
protections in place.
Yeah, and same is
In the
happening now
Quran,
in the-
there is
in the
no
Muslim-
protection in place for slaves.
for
Okay?
maid service. So-
In
Muslim,
Islam,
there's a law for it.
there is no
Yeah.
stopping of slavery.
There is no slavery
None.
right now.
No, there is.
First of all,
Libya, there's slavery.
listen. All right, listen.
Right? Be honest.
Listen
Come
to
on.
me. Listen
Be
to me.
honest. Don't
They
be a
had-
liar.
First of all, slaves were
Don't
property.
deceive people.
Were property.
Don't deceive people.
Listen, when Islam came, slaves were property. So you would not freely give your property. Okay, they were your property. So that you bought them with money. Okay, so they were your property. What does Islam say? What does Islam say? Like when someone breaks their fast during Ramadan, he says you can pay a takfira. You can either free a slave or you can do this and you can do that. So it was kind of like a charity. A charity is to free a slave. And what does it say in the Qur'an? What is the right way? Is freeing a slave, right? But yet they were their property at the time. Yeah, they owned them. They traded them. They were like money.
Yeah, that's
they were.
Islam.
But it is a charity.
After Jesus.
It was charity. No, there's Christians. They had black slaves.
After
Jews
Jesus.
had black slaves.
What slaves?
Everyone had
What slaves?
Everyone had
What
slaves.
does your
Medieval
Quran
times,
say?
old religion,
Your
bro.
Quran, your
religion
hadith
is 2,000 years old.
support slavery.
2,400
The
years
Bible does not support
It's
slavery.
not. It's anti-slavery.
Okay, so Jesus, did he
anti-slavery.
trade slaves like Muhammad?
Anti-slavery.
Did
What is so-
Jesus trade slaves like
Let-
Muhammad?
First of all, Jesus came on his own. He came as like a completely different thing.
What?
He came on his own.
He came on his own. What do you
he
mean?
came to the Jewish people. That Muhammad.
He came on his own.
Yeah, Muhammad came to the Arabic people and to the whole world, right?
Mate,
Yeah,
you're struggling.
yeah.
Listen, you're
Are you
struggling.
done?
You're struggling.
Are you done?
Joe the Muslim, whatever your name is, Joe, you're struggling.
Are you done? Are you done now?
Do you know why you're struggling?
I can leave. It's fine.
No. Of course
you
you're
can
going.
find someone that's not
Of
struggling.
course you're going to leave.
Find different solutions.
Of course you're going to leave because you're finding it difficult to reconcile what your prophet did, which you follow, who you follow, and reality. It's wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong. There's no verse in the
I
Quran.
hope you come to Islam because
There
you
is no
become more
verse in the
than you are right
Quran
now.
where it says
become
stop
way more
slavery.
Muslim.
Why would a black person be a Muslim?
Because
There
we're
is
right
no
next to your
verse in the
neighbours.
Quran or the
We're neighbours,
Hadith
Middle East and Africa.
that says stop slavery.
Middle East and Africa.
Give me one verse. Give me one verse.
Neighbours.
Give me one
There's
verse.
lots of black Muslims.
One verse in the
We're
Quran
more African. We don't bow
where
down
it
to
says
any white
stop
man.
slavery.
Bow down to any white man. Look
One
how they're
verse.
treating you in America.
One
Look
verse.
how they're treating you in America.
One verse. Arab slave trade
Don't
is
be gentle.
responsible
Don't be
for
gentle to these
sex
white people.
trafficking. Arab slave trade, which is Islam is behind this, is responsible for all the children, the little babies, the girls, the women being trafficked into prostitution. It's because of him.
No, it's not because.
Yeah, you don't. You're okay with it.
No.
People like him.
Islam came at a time that those things were happening.
People like
It
him.
came at a time that those things
And he's not even saying.
Well, it's not limited
Did
to
he once
Muslims.
say it
It's
was
not
bad?
what-
Did he once say it was bad?
There are no black Arabs.
There are black Arabs.
Where?
Obviously, there's Somalis.
No,
Somalis.
They're right
No,
next
I'm
to
talking about
Somalis are black Arabs.
black Arabian. No, Arabian.
Have you seen their location? Have you seen?
You're-
Where is Somalia? And where is
You're
Yemen?
struggling.
Where is Yemen?
You're struggling.
Where is the river?
You're having a hard time. You're having a hard time.
I know they're not
You know
black.
why?
Oh, because
When
they're
you come
Canaanites.
to- if you come to
You're
Arabia,
struggling.
You know why the black slaves?
We're very close. They're very
We're
close.
You're having a terrible time.
black slaves were castrated, the black men, so that they do not have children in Arab. They kept the women. No, they kept the women, but they castrated the men. When we talk, Arab slavery was the most brutal slavery.
Exactly.
I'm surprised.
Castrating.
Because
Child-
in the war
Cash-
slave, even now, you see how Hamas and stuff
My
like
friend.
that treat the slaves, and how the other opposition
Joe,
treats them.
Joe the Muslim. Listen, is it wrong? Slavery wrong? Is slavery wrong?
Slavery is the this is what Quran says. What is the right way? Freeing a slave. So what is the opposite of right way? It's the worst way. Yeah,
Is-
obviously,
So,
it's the worst.
show me one verse in the Quran or Hadith which says
Loads. I can show you.
stop slavery.
It doesn't say stop slavery. It tells you what is the right way. It tells you what is the right way. Do you know what the
Isn't
Quran
that
says, bro?
interesting?
You know what? Listen. Islam is not a dictatorship. Islam says whoever wishes to believe. Who wishes to disbelieve. You have to use your mind, not like Christians.
So-
It doesn't tell you, oh, you should do this.
600
It doesn't say
years.
stop that.
600,
It doesn't tell you that. It says
600 years.
do it if you're convinced.
600
I'll
years
show you the right way.
after Jesus.
I'll show you the right
to
way.
Muhammad,
You can do that.
and
This
they
is the
learn
right way.
nothing.
I'll tell
They
you the
learn
right
nothing.
way. It tells you what the right
You
way
learn
is.
nothing.
Slaves. It tells you. It doesn't say stop slavery.
Why not?
It's not a
Why,
politics.
why doesn't it say stop slavery?
Because
If
a
it's
religion,
wrong,
it's a religion of
if
faith.
it's wrong,
you do it if you believe. You do it out
if it's
because
wrong,
God wants to test you. He wants to see who the good person is. He wants to see who the good person is.
show me where it says. This guy's talking. This guy's talking. I tried to show him some verses about contradictions in the Quran. This guy's talking. Finally, he's about to quote.
I'm allowed to talk if you're not going to be fair.
Okay, let's see the verse. Don't drown now, because you're in the intellectual hospital right now. Don't kill yourself intellectually.
So there. Obviously, there's actually loads of verses. But let's go to there. The 99.
So what is this saying?
All right. And what will explain to you what this is in a different translation. Assent is the freeing of a slave, or the feeding on a day of hunger, or an orphan near of kin, or a destitute in the dusk. Then he becomes one of those who believe and advise one another to patience, and advise one another to kindness. These are the people of happiness. But as for those who defy our revelations, these are the people of misery. Upon them is the padlock fire. So it's saying what will explain to you what the right way is: the freeing of a slave, the feeding on a day of hunger, the orphan near of kin, the destitute in dust. Then,
Okay,
so
feeding
teaching good things.
feeding the hungry. Okay, we'll connect that to the slavery.
Freeing a slave.
Okay, so
We don't have slavery, bro.
you're trying to give the impression that Islam is caring.
I'm not trying to give that impression. This is what the
Okay.
says.
Name me one charity. Name me one Muslim charity that takes care, like is known to take care of children, of people, of
Why would I
adults.
suddenly know all the charges?
I just asked you for one. I've just asked you for one. I just asked you for one. One charity, one Muslim. Listen. One Muslim charity that can.
I'll ask it.
Well, I'm asking him one Muslim charity.
wanna ask Google
Can I
that?
just finish what I'm saying?
Why don't you research it?
I just want one.
Alright, I can research
One.
it.
Yeah, you can
Fine.
research it. One Muslim charity that takes care of people outside of Islam.
Sharia law. What does Sharia law say? If you're a Christian or Jew, you have your own law. You're under their protection.
I said charity.
Yeah, Sharia, not charity.
Oh my days, man! You're having a tough time. You are struggling badly, bro. Okay, so what I'm
I
saying,
want to become Google.
I know it's tough. So what I'm saying is that whilst you're reading something to give the impression that Islam is this peaceful religion that cares for people,
It doesn't say peaceful. Where does it say peaceful?
that helps the
Where?
poor,
You
that
know
feeds the
I want
hungry.
to address something. Christians made that up. This in the religion of peace because they misunderstood the word salam. Islam and salam.
What?
Listen.
What are you
Islam,
talking about?
Salam means peace.
Okay,
right? Islam means submission.
Show us one.
Right.
Show us. Show us one Muslim charity.
To Allah.
Show us one Muslim charity that helps.
Not the religion,
That
it's
helps.
the religion of fear of God.
One
right?
Muslim charity that helps people outside
People to find
of
different
the
charities. I don't know.
Ummah, the Muslim
I don't know.
community.
I don't know about any
I
charities.
don't think there's-
Why?
There's nothing.
Yeah.
is there? There's nothing.
You can gaslight it now because you're talking to someone that's not Google.
How can so what is it about Islam that's peaceful?
Ignorance, yeah.
Okay,
That's what
They
you're
only people among themselves.
they only give charity to themselves. That's it.
Sharia law then. What's
He's talking about
Sharia law?
Sharia law is a charity. Sharia law is a charity.
No.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
let's talk about what's inscribed in Islam. Let's talk about Islam. Does it say when it says the poor, orphan, and
Wait.
does it say Muslim? Poor,
I'm still
orphan, and
digesting what you said.
Okay, we boil that.
Excuse me. You just said Sharia law is a charity.
No, I'm talking about how.
I mean, there's nothing left. I mean, Joe the Muslim.
Right. Here, what does
Joe-
it say?
Joe-
On the feeding of the day of hunger, does it say Muslim?
Joe.
Does it say Muslim?
Joe.
And orphan year of kin, what does that say? Muslim orphan?
Joe.
Or destitute in the dust, where does that say?
Joe.
And there's examples
Yes,
of
Joe.
charities to non-Muslims.
Joe, you're struggling. You're struggling.
Am I allowed to eat?
You're having a difficulty. Yeah. See,
I don't want to.
you're running away. Yeah. I've got another verse to show you, but you know,
What do you want to?
there's
conclude on?
nothing left. There's nothing
I'll
left.
leave.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so listen, look at this verse in Surah 4, verse 24. Look what it says.
Is this the conclusion? Definitely.
Oh, it's the conclusion
Good.
because
All right, 'cause
what we
I'm
find,
excited.
what we're finding in the
I'm
Quran
getting Christian fatigue.
is that it's a very oppressive religion.
It isn't.
But you're trying to give it makeup. Don't give it makeup.
Oh, what does the Christian doctrine say?
Be
Sinners
natural.
go to hell. You're a cult.
Be natural.
You're a cult, bro.
Okay, go on.
You're oppressive. You have to force people to Christianity.
It's loading right now. What people?
do. If you're not Christian, you're going to hell, bro.
In judgment, God will judge.
In Islam, that's not. In Islam, you don't have to necessarily be Muslim.
Don't say
You don't have to
the same
necessarily-
God.
Okay.
You don't have to be
So in Surah 4, verse
in Islam, you can
in
be
Surah
Christian,
4,
you can be Jewish.
the reason why I have my phone
if you're a good
is to
Christian,
show you
will
the
enter heaven in
evidence.
Islam.
Okay, so this is why I have my phone. I know it off head anyway. I know the verse off head. Look what it says. I'm going to show you anyway.
Are you sure you haven't twisted it and used some program?
No.
All right, let's see
This
that.
is the Arabic.
All right,
Okay,
that's why I'm Arabic.
okay, Arabic.
Yeah.
You can read it?
Yeah, I can. What do you want to say?
No, read it. Read it. No, you can see the Arabic.
Right. You want me to read it?
Oh, read it.
Okay. والمحصنات من النساء إلا ما ملكت أيمانكم. Yeah.
So what does that say? Say the English.
Yeah. You read the English.
No, tell us what
I
it means.
don't
Tell
wanna
us.
read the English. You can
Tell
read
us
the
what
English.
it means. Go
Yeah.
on. Tell us what it means.
It's, I'll go into it. Just read the
No,
English.
no.
Read the English.
Are you an Arabic speaker or you're not?
Yeah, I am Arabic.
Okay, so tell us what it means.
No, I don't want to tell you until I think. I want to know what you think it means, and then I'll answer.
Isn't that interesting?
Bro, no.
Okay, so
I want to know what you think it means.
relax.
What do you think it means?
Take a deep breath. It's
What do you
okay.
think that means?
Don't worry. You're struggling already. You're drowning
This is the Qur'an.
intellectually.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're seeing, okay, is married, okay, and prohibited are the ones are married of you possess, whom except the women rightfully decree of Allah. Let me read Sahih. Yeah. And also prohibited to you are all married women except those your right hands possess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what right hand possession means?
Slaves, yeah. Concubines.
Concubines. Okay, so everything is permitted, no?
It's not permitted. This is you're looking at it. There's a difference between
This guy.
no. There's a difference between what Islam says and the
Excuse me.
this is law.
Excuse me.
This is literally
Excuse
the law.
me. So
All right. This is a law.
okay.
Okay.
So I can go to Ibn
This is a
Kathir.
marriage law.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax. Calm down.
Yeah. It's not forbidden to have a slave,
Joe the Muslim.
but it's not the right way.
Joe the Muslim who's already intellectually drowning. So listen. It says in your Quran, very simple. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. It says the right hand possession basically were the women that were captured in war
Yeah.
who had husbands that were still alive. Husbands that were still alive. And Allah, your God, not my God, I don't want this God. Your God said, yes, gave the wahi to Muhammad.
This is a law,
Not my God,
This
your
is a
God,
law.
not my God.
This
Your God
okay.
said,
You're
excuse me, relax.
This is to do
So
with the
excuse me,
law.
relax.
This is a,
Allah said a new wahi And he said, yes. Even though they
This
had
is
a,
what you're
even
saying.
though they had, no, Ibn Kathir, I could read it.
It's just in it.
Even though, no, I'm not. Anyone could read it. I got nothing to lie about. Islam destroys itself.
Doesn't.
Allah said, yes, have sex with those female
Talk about
captives,
the law.
even
laws.
though their husbands are still alive. You can have sex with them. No problem. Everything is lawful for you. That's the God of your God. That's the God of Islam.
What does it say about freeing?
Is that true? Is that true?
No, it doesn't.
Do you want me to read it? Do you want me to read?
The
Do you want me to read
That was
this?
the laws at the time.
So the right hand possession, are you saying to me that there was no conscience of the women that caught these slaves, these women? Are you saying to me they did not inquire to Muhammad, who Muhammad then gave them after receiving wahi from Allah, saying, yes, it's lawful for you to have sex with them, even though their husbands are alive? Are you saying that that's not true? Are you saying that's not true? You're being recorded.
I'm not sure about the husbands being alive part. I want to research that.
Okay, research it.
But,
Research it. Go on, research it.
But you need to separate law.
My friend, research it. Research it so you,
right and wrong. Okay.
because
This is
at the
law
moment you're
time.
talking out of, oh, I see.
Yeah, I wanna-
You're talking and you don't know the facts. So the question is, it's very simple. Establish the facts and then advise. Go on. Have a look at what I just said. I just made a claim that these guys are being told in this verse.
Don't be told this is the law. This is
Okay,
not Sharia.
exactly.
This
This is
Sharia.
exactly. That's my point.
Right. So at the time
That
this was
in your religion,
this was-
it's so good that you're being recorded.
But you're not.
It's so good that you're being recorded because look, what we're seeing
Well,
here.
it doesn't say this is the right way.
Excuse me. What we're seeing in Surah 4, verse 24, is that you're being allowed to have sex with women that are captives.
Yeah.
Okay, property or not, you're allowed to do this even though they have husbands who are still alive. Is that true? Yes or no? Okay, so you're saying he's not sure. Now he's got selective memory. He has selective memory. I told him to go and look into it, and he's looking around the place. The truth of the matter is very, very clear. In Islam, the God of Islam permits,
Where does it say that?
permits
Where does it
slavery.
say?
Go to the Tasfir.
I don't find you find it this time.
No.
Listen. The burden of proof is on you.
This
You're
guy.
the one.
I don't need
can't
no
find
burden of
something.
proof.
If it's hard to find, if it's something that's very hard to find.
Okay, there you go. Okay, do you want me to read it? Do you want me to read it? Which is going to be even more, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. I can read it for you. It's going to be worse for you. Okay, so this is Ibn Kathir. It says, and this is his Tasfir. Okay?
Oh, tafsir. Okay.
Tasfir. So
This is
there's,
not Qur'an, yeah.
there's
Tafsir.
and also,
Even
there,
tafsir can be wrong.
listen, there's other verses that
This is
substantiate
just a
this.
scholar's opinion.
There's other verses. Okay, I can go to Surah 33. But listen, look. It says, all others are lawful, meaning you are allowed to marry women other than the prohibited types mentioned here as atar, and others have stated Allah's statement. Provided you seek them with a dowry from your property, design chastity, not fornication, meaning you are allowed to use your money to marry up to 4 wives and to purchase as many female slaves as you like on all legal matters.
Yeah.
Now, so let me just read. Okay, so I skipped a bit. Let me go back. Forbidding women already married except for female slaves.
So where's the part about husbands?
All right, no problem.
Oh, it's giving me a headache.
Also forbidden
Yeah.
are women already married, except those whom your right hands possess. The ayah means you are prohibited from marrying women who are already married, except those whom your right hands possess.
Yeah. So it's just saying if they're your property, doesn't matter if they're married or not, because they're your property. Yeah.
This is my point.
Okay, great.
So your God
So it doesn't
permits adultery.
No, he permits you to
Okay,
take property.
okay.
Women as property. Yeah.
Okay. Look what it says.
In times of
Consequently,
war, and
we
let's
had.
listen to me.
Look.
Before I leave.
Okay, I know you're going
This is
to
very
leave.
old,
Of
yeah.
course, you're going to leave.
This is
Of
the time,
course,
1,400
you're. Of
years.
course, you're
Okay.
going to leave.
This is 1,400
You're
years.
supposed
A
to
law
leave.
1,500 years. But the things that were
Except-
going
so
on,
it says,
that was normalized back then. Okay. not
except
as
those
here.
whom you acquired
It's very-
for war.
it's very
For you
alien
allowed
language,
such
yeah,
women
so-
after making sure they're not pregnant.
Bro,
Imam Ahmad
absolutely.
recorded that Abu said, Al-Qudri said, we
It's very
captured
alien now.
some
I understand.
women
Well, if we look
from
at the
the
teaching, what
area of
teachings backstage,
Al-Tas
it's- I have to
who
read
were
it.
already
I
married,
mean, it's the right
and we
okay.
disliked
We're done.
having sexual relations with them because they already had husbands. So we asked the Prophet about this matter,
Yeah.
and his ayah was revealed. So isn't it interesting? The ayah came when they inquired about this question, and it
Very
said,
interesting. Yeah. So
also for beginning, women already married, except those whom your right hands possess. Consequently, we had sexual relations with these women. This is the wording collected by At-Tirmidhi and Nasai ibn Jareh and Muslim in this Sahih.
Conclude it now, please.
So,
I want to go.
listen.
No, not listen.
So-
If you can say
so-
listen, I'm going to leave.
No,
Because
no,
that's long.
I'm concluding.
You're making it long.
So your God permits adultery,
Okay.
permits rape, permits slavery. Why shouldn't the Quran be thrown in a bin?
Because
This is trash. This is trash to morality.
Last words. What's your last word?
The moral framework of
Say the
Islam
last word.
is trash.
Do you know how to conclude?
I'm done.
You done?
You have nothing left. He has nothing left. Thank you. He has nothing left. He has nothing left. And you see, this is the reason why, people are leaving Islam in their millions. Jesus is appearing to people in dreams all over the world, and they are leaving Islam so fast, so fast. And so I encourage everybody to leave Islam. The morality is trash. The lies are so serious. The contradictions are unbelievable. It's an absolute disgrace for your book to say that you can you can have sex with somebody, you can do what you want when their husbands are still alive. This is why Islam is behind the Arab slave trade and permits slavery all over the world. An absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. And so, guys, one thing for sure is that I spoke to this man quite firmly because he was behaving naively. He knows the truth, but he's trying to deceive the people. So I had to talk to him to get and shake out. It's like shaking a tree so the apples can fall down. I was hoping for some truth to fall down. So guys, look, Jesus says, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And this is a very important principle that we see in our faith. And this is why the God of the Bible is a God of love. So guys, we're on the winning side. Continue to read your Bible, fast, and stand on the promises of God. God bless you, and we'll speak real soon.
Heaven's glory, free, testify divine. 1 John chapter 5 verse 7, no lie. Can you see the Godhead's design? Revelation 21 verse 7, divine sign. Jesus, God in heaven, reigning supreme. No weapon from condemned the blessed dream. God's alive, reverence, face, no tokens. Perfect love, holy one, never broken. 3 in 1, Godhead's group begun. Godhead, the victory is won. Let him know, brother.